It's Beer O'Clock, and this is the Beer O'Clock Show Flavour of the Month with Little Leeds Beer House. By now you'll have realised that I'm not Mark, that I am indeed Steve, and I'm sorry to say that Mark's decided to fully retire from beer podcasting. So to save you from having to listen to me whittle on about beer for the next 15 minutes, Martin's now joining me in the co-host chair for Flavour of the Month too.
Evening, mate.
Hello, mate. Welcome to Flavour of the Month. Are you excited?
I'm excited about doing this one.
Cool. So this month is a Christmas special that we're doing with Little Leeds Beer House. They've supplied us with Dolle's Stille Nacht. Stille Nacht? Basically, yeah, continuing the tradition of not being able to pronounce beers.
I'm glad about that.
This is a Belgian Christmas beer. Comes in at about 12%, I think. So we've got Rich has been kind enough to he's given us a 2016 bottle, which we're going to try first. And he's also given us a 2015 bottle that he's been aging for a year to try to compare it. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this first one.
Okay,
cheers. It's a bit Belgian-y on the nose.
Yeah, but not as potent on the nose as I would have expected it to be for such a big ABV beer. There's definitely a hint of fruit on the nose as well.
There's a hint of fruit on the note. That's really soft to drink. That's really smooth.
Yeah, it is. It's not like tropical fruits. It's that peaches, pears kind of thing more than your big tropical.
It's more like your traditional fruits, isn't it? I've got to say, I'm pleasantly surprised as well that for a Christmas beer, it's not just had a load of Christmas spices thrown at it and said, there you go, there's Christmas beer.
I've got some in the cupboard if you want some.
No, I don't. Okay. I don't think we need to be dry seasoning the beer.
12% beer that Rich has given us.
In any way, shape or form.
No, this is it's very soft. The carbonation is just about right for this kind of beer as well.
I think perfectly so, yeah.
And I'm glad we took it out of the fridge a little while as well.
I think so. I think if we'd served this cold, it would have lost all of the flavour and everything that's going on there. So let's a little bit about the beer itself. So as my poor pronunciation can dictate to, it's called Stille Nacht, which does translate as Silent Night, and it goes through a long cooking process to get it to its sweetness as a beer. So it's basically. It's one of the most dense beers that there is.
So I've never heard that used as a phrase.
I've never heard of density.
No, when you're talking about the brewing process or the cooking process, the word density's never come up.
Yeah, it's the highest density of all Belgian beers being 27 pi, which is a combination that creates perfect balance between sweet and bitter. Which I don't think you can disagree with that.
No,
because it is balanced out very well. It uses entirely nugget hops in the dry hopping process as well. So that's the only hops that are in this for the flavour. But I think in terms of a beer that feels right for the festive period,
it somehow nails it without looking like it should do. I tell you what, it's almost got the flavour of. It's almost like stewed fruits.
Yeah,
that's what it's reminding me of. So stewed apples and pears.
Absolutely.
That's what it's reminding me of.
Yeah. You would question, and I'm going to say this. It sounds ridiculous going through my mind, but I wonder if this would work in a similar way to what mulled wine does if you was to warm it up.
I was thinking about mulled cider there. I know you're not a cider fan, but no. I have tried my hand at mulling cider in much the same way when I do the mulled wines, and I think the only thing that might hold it back for me would be the fact that the carbonation might not quite work so well, but I think the flavour profile.
I mean, that carbonation's perfect on that. So this is the 2016 version that we're drinking right now. So this is
probably the most unusual Christmas beer I've had because the colour doesn't look Christmassy.
No, normally you'd expect something.
This is a summer colour.
red, amber, that sort of colour. This is, I suppose you could probably say it looks like a pale ale.
Yeah.
In the glass.
Almost a slightly cloudy.
Yeah.
Pale ale.
Yeah. It's, I mean, everything from the aroma through to the mouthfeel.
Dry finish.
It's actually pretty good.
It's just a damn good beer.
Yeah. I would suggest that if you're in Leeds, get yourself up to Little Leeds Beer House.
Especially if they've got some of these. What do you say? What is it again? 12%.
12%.
Doesn't drink like 12%.
Doesn't drink like 12%.
So treat with care.
2016 version. I'm not sure whether Richard's still got any more of the 2015 that we're going to try in a moment. But certainly there's plenty of this in stock. And I would say, as a beer for the festive period, if you're not into those beers that have just had festive spices thrown at them, this is almost
or
perfect.
Even, I mean, because this is a very nice counterpoint to some of the big dark beers that we like.
Yeah, you could absolutely drink that after a great big barrel-aged Impy stout or something.
Because sometimes when you have one of those barrel-aged Impy stouts, it's fairly much you're done.
Yeah.
If you did decide that maybe you'd peaked too early with having your Impy stout and fancied another one, this would work.
It would absolutely work. And you know what? As you're drinking it, it doesn't feel 12%.
And that's what I mean. It's this is practically a government health warning here.
But that 12% is going to creep up on you very, very quickly, isn't it? If you're not careful with that. Yeah,
that's absolutely superb.
That is great. I'm quite excited to try a bottle that's a year older.
I know. That's what I was just thinking.
Than that now.
The 2016 version is superb, and as a Christmas beer, it works.
It does work. It works incredibly well. So to get yourself up to Little Leeds Beer House, they've got extended opening hours for Christmas. So from the 1st of December, they're open until 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night, 9 p.m. on a Thursday night, and 8 p.m. on a Friday night, as well alongside their normal opening hours, which are 10 to 6. So
and can you still drink in there when they're late night shopping?
You can drink in there, yeah. As long as the shop's open, they've got a licence for you to be able to drink in there as well.
Yeah, that's superb. And having visited there once last year on the Leeds Crimbo Court, it's a fantastic space, and especially with the way it's the old Corn Exchange, isn't it?
It's Corn Exchange, which just looks beautiful at this time of year.
I was going to say
as well.
It's look fantastic.
Yeah, there are always 4 beers on tap as well, and they generally tend to be beers that everybody's drinking at the moment as well. So it's definitely a place. I would, if you've never been there, I'd give yourself a couple of hours just to go and sit up there and have a couple of beers. Yeah, and just chat to Richard Bryony as well, because they're so easy to talk to. They know a lot about beer as well.
Yeah, and even if you have a bit of a break from the beer and you spend 10-15 minutes just having a little wander around the Corn Exchange or a little look.
Yep.
You'll be
impressed.
Get
some food in there as well.
You'll be impressed.
Yeah. Right.
So shall I crack open?
Let's do this 2015. I know you're really excited to use your sonic screwdriver bottle opener.
I am.
It didn't work.
Didn't make the noise.
Didn't make the after that massive build up.
Yeah, I might have to play the noise at the end.
Yeah. So as I say, this one is from last year's batch, which has been looking after this, and instantly the first comparison I'll make as you're pouring that is it's not as carbonated.
No.
It's still got a lovely head coming through it, and there's some nice carbonation in there, but when we poured the 2016, it was properly fizzy.
Yeah, it definitely, on the first pour last time, it was not uncontrollable, but you had to watch what you were doing.
Is that a little bit darker as well?
I think it is. Colour-wise, it's dark. It's not murkier, it's just darker.
It's probably a shade or two darker than the 2016 that we've just drunk. Not so much on the nose, a little bit softer on the nose.
Maybe just a tad.
It's just like everything's been dialed down a little bit.
I was going to say it's mellow,
and what you've got is, as a result, is this smoother beer that's got probably allowing a lot more of the flavours to come through. That the flavours have developed a little bit more in there.
I think it's a bit more of an alcohol burn at the back as well.
I'm not just
a little bit more. I'm getting a bit more of the alcohol burn, but yeah, the flavours, they're not dialed down massively. but it would tend to say that maybe if for some reason you had one in your cupboard from 2012 or 2013, drink it.
Yeah.
Because you might start to lose something from it. It's drier, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a beer that's designed to be aged.
No.
It's kind of almost drink fresh.
Which, no bad thing, because like I said, that 2016, delicious.
It's no bad thing, and almost to the point where the 2016 is a beer that might go on my annual Christmas list in terms of...
Would it make your 12 beers of Christmas?
I don't know if it would make a main act of the 12 beers of Christmas, but it might make a supporting act. But you'd have to go some to beat a 12% beer, wouldn't you?
Yes.
On a single evening. Maybe not a support act. Maybe, I don't know, because you get your headliner and then there's generally nothing after that. But I'd have to have maybe my focus beer on one day. I'll tell you what.
No headliner wants to be overshadowed by the support act. You know?
It's almost a perfect beer to open on Christmas Day, and just enjoy at some point on Christmas Day, and
without having to think about it too much.
Yeah. Apart from the fact,
I would say maybe after dinner.
Or maybe with dinner. It'd work very well for Christmas dinner as well.
It would, but I think that'd be a waste of a 12% beer though.
I'm pleasantly surprised, you know, because people know that I'm not a massive fan of Belgian beers.
You're not a massive fan of Belgian beers or a massive fan of Christmas beers?
No, and I've been completely won over. But the 2016 for me...
Are you sure Rich likes you still? I mean, basically, he's picked a beer which is Belgian and Christmassy.
I think he wanted to challenge me this month. I think the 2016. I think what he said was you've had enough double IPAs. You're not having any more until you start drinking some other styles. So for me, the 2016 is a better. No, that's harsh. It's not a better beer than the 2015. It's just a beer that is best drunk fresh.
Yeah. I would say that.
I think rather than
which is rare.
Aging it does nothing for it.
Which is rare you're going to say that for a 12% beer.
12% Belgian beer.
Yeah.
Normally they would get better with age.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's been Stille Nacht. Still probably not pronouncing it wrong.
No.
Silent Night by Dolle from Belgium, which is a really, really good non-Christmas Christmas beer.
Yes.
Do you get
it's almost more of a winter seasonal beer than Christmas per se.
Yeah, very much so.
Like I said, with the stewed fruits and very much stewed English fruits, or fruits that we can get hold of very easily, rather than the tropical kind. Dry finish, nice and bitter. Carbonation is lovely. I have to admit, just about right. And yes, if you didn't know, and let's face it, there's the label's quite busy.
There's a lot going on there. It's a bit of a mess.
You wouldn't spot the percentage.
I don't think it's on there.
Even if it is, I haven't looked properly because it was so busy. Even if it is, you wouldn't spot it.
Again, who was... I was listening to a podcast recently where I was talking about ABVs on beers, and apparently it's only the UK that have to put it on the label.
Because I've struggled to find it on US beers before.
Yeah, they don't have to in the US.
It's where they stick the label on from the mail order company, stick the label on there. I would say, but 2016 does trump the 2015. The 2015 is still very drinkable, but if for whatever reason you've got one in the back of your cupboard which is older than 2015, have it. Yeah, don't leave it. It's not going to improve with age. No, definitely not.
That's the thing here. But yeah, so you can get 2016. You can get it obviously from Little Leeds Beer House. Make sure if you're in Leeds, pop up there, say hi to Richard Bryony. You know, just enjoy the space, enjoy some of the beers up there. Check them out at littleleedsbeerhouse.com. And we will be back in the new year to do more flavours of the month. But we're going to change the format slightly on the flavour of the month.
Oh, so change.
I know some people don't like change, which is why we're giving plenty of advance
plenty of notice so they can get prepared for it.
Obviously, we now have our main show being Hopinions, which is all about getting our listeners involved. What we thought would be a nice twist would be with Flavour of the Month if we actually gave the listeners 3 beers to choose from, and whichever beer is most popular, that's the beer that we'll be drinking. So that's what we'll be trying in the new year.
That could be dangerous. We end up with Steve having to have a Belgian beer every month.
It could be dangerous, and you know that everybody, if there's a saison on the list, everybody's going to vote for that saison, just to annoy me. But yeah, so make sure you tune in. We'll be in January now. Will be the next flavour of the month. And as I say, if you're in Leeds, make sure you pop into Little Leeds Beer House. I've really enjoyed this evening, mate.
Yeah, so thanks for letting me join in.
It does feel... thanks for taking the co-host chair. It's nice to have you on board. It feels a little bit early to be saying this, but happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.